Welcome back to the Engaging People podcast. Today we're doing another segment of our Employee Engagement Goes to the Movies, where we consult the silver screen for powerful lessons of what to do and what not to do to create the right employee experience. Today we're talking about Hamilton, Lin-Manuel Miranda's smashing Broadway success that first debuted in 2015 and was adapted to film in July of this year, 2020.
Yeah, we love Hamilton. So the plot adapted from IMDb, Hamilton is the story of America then told by America now. Featuring a score that blends hip-hop, jazz, R&B, and show tunes, Hamilton has taken the story of American founding father Alexander Hamilton and created a revolutionary moment in theater, a musical that has had a profound impact on culture, politics, and education.
We watched the film and identified 8 powerful leadership lessons from the musical. We actually put together a handout on our website of all 8 leadership lessons. We'll share just a few of those today, so make sure to visit our website at DecisionWise.com/Hamilton to get the full handout.
Yeah, so one of those 8 leadership lessons that we talked about is be assertive, and we thought we'd roll a sound clip from one of those scenes that we feel like shows that leadership lesson. So let's hear that clip.
Essentially, they tax us relentlessly. Then King George turns around, runs a spending spree. He ain't ever gonna set his descendants free, so there will be a revolution in this century. Enter me,
he says in parentheses.
Don't be shocked when your history book mentions me. I will lay down my life if it sets us free. Eventually you'll see my ascendancy, and I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. Hey yo, I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot.
So Adam, what do you think about that clip?
Yeah, I thought the clip was great. I think it shows how Alexander's being assertive in who he is. It really shows his character. I think of prominent business leaders in today's society. We think of Amazon. We think of Jeff Bezos, Apple. We think of Steve Jobs. These are 2 individuals that were very assertive and disruptive.
Yeah.
These were looking to change their industry. And I think Hamilton had that same swagger, you could say. He had that same swagger that these ones had in doing that.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's interesting because Hamilton says, for the first time, I'm thinking past tomorrow. Another line he says, I'm young, scrappy, and hungry. People in the musical describe him. They say the man is nonstop, or every day you write like you're running out of time. And so he really is assertive. He goes and gets what he wants. And I liked that it kind of shows that the influence one person can have, the excitement of one. So, a few excited people got the whole town riled up. A few contagiously engaged people in business have an impact on an organization. The scene actually continues from the one that you hear, and the other revolutionaries say, let's get this guy in front of a crowd. He rallied and got everyone so excited, and I think that shows the influence that some really engaged people can have on an organization. I really like that.
All right, let's go to clip 2, Be Resilient.
When I was 17, a hurricane destroyed my town. I didn't drown. I couldn't seem to die.
Kenna, what did you think of the clip?
Yeah, the song talks about a lot of the struggles that Hamilton faced as a kid. Alexander Hamilton did not start off with success assured. He had to earn it, and he really overcame a variety of obstacles. At one point in another song, he observes the lyrics are, every disadvantage I have learned to manage. And I really like that. You and I have been talking kind of today a lot about resilience and the importance of that. But I'm just wondering, like, how does somebody become resilient? I don't think people are just born with resilience. Maybe it's natural, but there's got to be ways that we can all develop resilience. And we were talking about some of those ways. So what do you think, Adam? How can somebody become more resilient like Hamilton?
Yeah, I think you have to get under the hood a little bit with resilience. I think in order to be resilient, there's a precursor, and I think you have to have purpose. And I think in order to have purpose, you have to have self-belief.
Yeah.
And I think Hamilton shows from the very beginning that he had this self-belief. He talks about how he called himself a diamond in the rough. He learned early that he needed to take control of his life and create his own destiny.
Yeah.
I think this belief set up the foundation for him to find his purpose and then later create that resiliency that he continued to have throughout the show.
Yeah, 100%. I love that. So let's go to the next leadership lesson, number 3. We talk about diversity matters. So let's roll that clip.
I've been reading common sense, but by Thomas Paine. So men say that I'm intense or I'm insane. You want a revolution, I want a revelation. So listen to my declaration. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. And when I meet Thomas Jefferson, I'ma compel him to include women in the sequel.
So Adam, what do you think about that clip about diversity?
I thought it was great. I think it's a masterclass in diversity. The cast includes women and men of all ethnicities and races. The musical is a great example of the importance of diversity and equality in the workplace. I think we're seeing, especially at this time in the world, such an emphasis on this, because I think it's important that organizations are creating an environment where people can bring different perspectives, different cultures, and honestly, just different ways of problem solving to really address some of the business challenges of today.
I 100% agree. I love it. I mean, in this clip, you heard that inclusion line of we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. And when I meet Thomas Jefferson, I'm going to compel him to include women in the sequel. So just kind of a fun play on that. This line also stands out to me, though, as a great example of the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's at the end of the musical, actually, and Hamilton says, "America, you great unfinished symphony, you sent for me. You let me make a difference, a place where even orphan immigrants can leave their fingerprints and rise up." And I just love that. I love how he talks about that, different perspective, culture. He was an orphan immigrant, but yeah, the importance of people from all ethnicities, races, genders, like you said, different perspectives and cultures, super important in today's business world.
Great. Let's go to clip 4.
Good luck with that, you're taking a stand. You spit, I'ma sit, we'll see where we land. Burr, the revolution's imminent, what are you stalled for?
If you stand for nothing, Burr, what'll you fall for?
Kenna, what were your thoughts on clip 4?
Yeah, we kind of entitled clip 4, Find and Follow Your Leadership Compass. So, I really do think Hamilton had his flaws, right? Every leader, no leader's perfect, but Hamilton really did understand and follow his leadership identity. He was consistent and predictable. Aaron Burr, on the other hand, let the moment dictate his style. And in that clip, you heard this line from Hamilton, "If you stand for nothing, Burr, what will you fall for?" I mean, it's interesting because in the musical and in history, you see that Burr even changed political sides when he thought it could help him. And so just that contrast of the importance of making sure that you follow that leadership compass and be consistent in your principles of leadership.
Yeah, the musical did a really good job of showing the whole time Aaron Burr's reluctance to really stand for something. I mean, it comes up at the very beginning, the middle, and in the end of the whole musical. So I think great leaders make their own luck. They forge their own success and really look for the opportunities. And Hamilton definitely is a stark contrast in that.
Yeah.
There's a quote that I really like from the musical. It says, "Hamilton doesn't hesitate. He exhibits no restraint. He takes and he takes and he takes. He keeps winning anyway. He changes the game. He plays and he raises the stakes." Another quote I really like is, "He'd rather be divisive than indecisive, and if you want something, go get it."
Yeah, just kind of that contrast. Love it. So we kind of combine these leadership lessons, and remember there's 4 more on our handout, so visit our website to get the full 8. But the key takeaway of kind of all of this is don't throw away your shot. Taking the tagline of the musical, we feel like that key takeaway to not throw away your shot kind of covers all of these leadership lessons in one mantra. And so you can remember to not throw away your shot, to be assertive, become resilient. Diversity matters, find and follow your leadership compass, and those things will help businesses.
All right, it's time to give our engagement score to this movie. The criteria behind the score is how well it embodies good employee engagement principles.
So our scale is simply from 1 to 10, with 10 being the best possible employee experience that would cause employees to have to be torn away from their job just to go home and get a few hours of sleep before racing back to work, and 1 being the absolute worst experience that would cause even the most motivated employee to opt for the lowest paying fast food job instead of remain where they are. So Adam, what score would you give the musical Hamilton?
I would give Hamilton a solid 9 on the scale.
Tell me why.
For me, I think that there's a lot of different aspects of leadership that you can look into. What we're really focused on is Hamilton. And I think that the whole movie shows Aaron Burr and Hamilton and the differences that they show throughout the film. And so I think that Hamilton, in the 8 qualities that we talk about here, really show strong leadership, which I think leads to strong employee engagement.
Yeah, I like it. I was thinking about an 8 to a 9 as well. I think those leadership lessons are super important. I think there's some good examples as well that we didn't talk about of what not to do in the musical as well, which is where the 2-point lack comes from. But like I said, no leader or organization is perfect. And I think especially the principles that we pulled out for these leadership lessons make it a fantastic example of finding that leadership compass and following that to create an important and inclusive organization with assertive and resilient leaders. So that's it for today's segment of Employee Engagement Goes to the Movies on the Engaging People podcast. Again, make sure to visit www.decisionwise.com/Hamilton to download the handout of those 8 leadership lessons, and make sure to tune in for future episodes.
Thanks, everyone.